You told me once to forget the past, because it doesn't matter.
Welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I did this very nice flushed glowy makeup. So I started first by spraying on some of the Pixie Glow Mist, and this just helps giving my complexion a nice flush. I don't know, I had something in my mouth for some reason and I didn't cut it out, but yeah, it's there. Enjoy. And yeah, I'm just patting it in, making sure that it's nice and absorbed into the skin, and as you can see, it giving me that nice glow. And next I'm using the Revlon Color Stay 2-in-1 Compact, and I'm in the shade Cappuccino, and I'm using a small concealer brush just to apply it where I need it the most, which is pretty much my dark circles and my blemish scars. And then I'm blending everything in with my beauty blender just to make sure that everything is blended into the skin and not cakey. Moving on to brows, I am using the Marcel brow pencil in the shade Universal Dark, and I'm using this just enough to fill in the sparse areas, so I'm just adding a little bit of definition towards the second half of my brow, towards the tail, and as you can see, I'm not holding the pencil close to the tip just because I don't want to apply as much pressure, and I'm not trying to achieve the infamous snatched brow. And yeah, I'm just using very small strokes, just enough to mimic as if it were real brow hairs. As you can see, it just looks really natural and not too fleeky. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other brow. Again, just very small strokes and filling in the sparse areas, especially towards the end of the brow, because that's where I have the least amount of brow hairs. And then for foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal True Match Lumi and the L'Oreal True Match, and I'm mixing them together to achieve my perfect shade. And I'm not using a lot. Again, I'm using just a small brush, just enough to cover the areas that I didn't cover before with my Revlon Compact. And I like using these two together because they give a very luminous, very healthy glow to the skin. And here I'm showing you that my neck is darker than the rest of my body. For some reason, that's just how it's always been. Because sometimes it might look like I'm using the wrong foundation shade if you look at my neck, but it's just my neck that is just darker than my body for some reason. So yeah, I'm just swiping across my face a little bit of the foundation, blending it in with the with my beauty blender. As you can see, the foundation doesn't look too heavy, and it's just enough to brighten up the complexion and give that nice healthy glow to the skin. And also I put some on my neck just so that the contrast is not too stark, but I mean, it didn't really make a lot of a difference. But yeah, as you can see, my skin now looks really glowy and healthy. Next, moving on to the flush part of the makeup, I'm using this Tony Moly lip tint, but I don't really use it for my lips anymore. I use it more for my cheeks as a blush, and I pat on a little bit of the product, and then I'm blending it in with my beauty blender. And as you can see, it doesn't look too heavy. It just melts right in with the rest of the complexion. And I just go in little by little. I just add as I go instead of adding a whole lot at once. And also, because I'm darker, I might need to use a little bit more than maybe someone else that is lighter. But as you can see, I just build up as I go, and it really gives that nice blushed effect. And whatever's left on the back of my beauty blender, I apply close to the eye, kind of to mimic the Igari makeup. And then I'm doing the same thing on the other cheek. I'm applying a bit first on the apples. I focus it mainly on the apples, just to give that kind of sweet, innocent look. And whatever's left on the beauty blender, I kind of blend it around the apples and around the eye. And then I'm tapping the excess that is on the sponge across my nose, just to add on to the flush and blushed effect. Now I'm setting a little bit of my face with the Innisfree No Sebum powder, and I'm using a fluffy brush on my T-zone and on the rest of my face, just enough to set the makeup, but not enough to mattify my skin completely. It's just because I'm really oily naturally. And for the eyes, I'm using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm using the colors Buns and Mocha as a base for the other colors that I will use in a moment. Then I'm taking the color 24/7, and I am patting it on the eye. It's a really nice shimmery color that is close to my skin tone, so it won't show up much, but that's the effect that I wanted, because I didn't want it to look like I had a lot of eyeshadow on. I just wanted to give the extra glow to the eyes. And as you can see, whenever the light hits my eyes, it kind of gives that glowy look even to my lids. And then I'm taking the color Jax, and I am applying it only on the outer corners of the eyes, closer to the lash line, and then blending it into a V on the outer part of my eye. And I'm using a very fluffy brush so that the color is not too concentrated, but just enough to add a touch of color. And then I'm taking whatever's left on the brush and swiping it on the lower waterline, only on the outer part of the waterline. Then I'm using this Maybelline skinny eyeliner, and this one is in the color dark brown, and I'm just outlining the lash line and adding a very small wing, just enough to add a little bit of definition to the eyes. I'm not doing an exaggerate wing, I'm just tracing enough to add a little bit of definition. And then going in for the highlight, just to add a little bit more of a glow on the higher points of my face. I'm using the Stila Heaven's Hue highlighter, and I'm just applying it on my cheekbones, and then I will apply it a little bit on on the bridge of my nose. This highlighter is just so pretty because it's just so buildable, and by using a little you just get that nice glow, but you can also build it up to that very blinding highlighters that all the beauty gurus love. But here I just used it enough to get that nice glow whenever the light hits it. And then I'm using the NYX Jumbo Pencil in the shade, I think this one is in the color Rust. It's kind of like a dark red shimmery color, and I'm only using it on the waterline just to kind of make my eyes look a little bit reddened by the cold. And then I'm curling my lashes, prepping them for mascara. And I will be using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara in the waterproof formula. And honestly, a lot of people have thought of this as a dupe for the Better Than Sex mascara, and I think it really is. It's a very nice mascara, probably one of my favorite drugstore ones. And for the lips, I'm using the Etude House Dear Darling tint, and I'm just using this mostly in the inner part of my lips, but I will blend the rest all over the lip just so that the main color is focused on the inner part. And then I'm using the CoverGirl liquid lipstick in a nude shade just on the outer part so that the color doesn't look too pigmented, because I still want it to look pretty natural. And after that, I'm just going to add a touch of lip gloss just to add a little bit of sheen so that my lips look a little bit plump and healthy. And that's pretty much the finished makeup. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll catch you guys in my next one. Bye!